The moment I stepped inside the world's most haunted hospital, I thought I was prepared. I had heard all the stories, but nothing could have prepared me for what happened that night. As soon as I entered, a strange chill filled the air, and it felt like the walls were watching me. Every creak, every whisper seemed to echo through the halls, leaving me with a sense of dread I couldn't shake. I stayed, thinking it was just the fear getting to me. But as the night went on, I started questioning if I'd truly escaped when I left, or if something had followed me home. As soon as I stepped over the threshold, a thick, suffocating smell of decay hit me. It felt like the building had been holding its breath for decades, as if time itself had stopped. Each step I took echoed through the empty hallways, but there was no one in sight. The hospital had been abandoned for years, or at least that's what I had been told. But the silence wasn't peaceful. It was heavy, almost like the building was alive, its walls pulsing with some unseen force, waiting for something, or someone, to awaken it. I didn't want to be there, but something was pulling me deeper into the hospital. I had heard all the rumors, ghosts of former patients who never left, strange shadows that moved on their own, and eerie whispers echoing through the halls at night. But I wasn't someone who believed in supernatural stories. I came to uncover the truth, to prove that it was all just fiction. But as the night wore on, something began to shift. The air grew heavier, and I started questioning everything I thought I knew. Maybe there was something to these stories after all. Minutes passed, and at first, nothing seemed out of the ordinary. The silence was unnerving, but still, I felt nothing truly strange. Then, something caught my eye. A door, tucked away at the end of a dim hallway, that didn't match the rest of the hospital's decaying architecture. It was newer, almost out of place. As I stared at it, the whispers started. At first, I thought it was just the wind, but then, as I turned to leave, I saw a shadow dart across the room. My heart skipped a beat. I was alone, wasn't I? As I ventured deeper into the hospital, I stumbled across a dusty old book hidden in a forgotten nurse's station. It was a journal, its pages yellowed with age and filled with entries that were hard to read. But one stood out clear as day. The patients are still here, and so is he. Who was he? A chill ran down my spine as the realization crept over me. The staff hadn't just abandoned this place. Something had driven them away. And whatever that something was, it was still here, waiting. As I descended into the basement, the temperature dropped suddenly, sending a shiver down my spine. My breath fogged in the air, though it had been warm upstairs. The lights above me flickered, casting shadows that seemed to shift with every blink. I thought I saw figures moving in the dark, but I couldn't tell if it was just my mind playing tricks, or if there were people, or something else, down here with me. Faint voices echoed through the space, too soft to make out. Was it the wind? Or something else? I couldn't shake the feeling that I wasn't alone, like eyes were watching me from the darkness. For a moment, I thought maybe I was overreacting. I stumbled upon a small, abandoned room that looked normal compared to the rest of the hospital. The walls were intact, and the floor was clear, free of debris. It seemed like a safe haven, a brief escape from the growing unease. But then, something caught my eye. A small, weathered box tucked under an old chair. Inside was a photo of a woman, standing in the very hospital I was now exploring. Her expression was haunting, as if she knew something I didn't. The most unsettling part? The date on the back, the day before the hospital closed. That was impossible. How could this photo exist if no one had been here for years? The tension reached its peak when I realized that the photo wasn't just a photo. It was a warning. The woman in the picture, the one I'd thought was just a distant figure, I had seen her in the hallway just moments ago. Her ghostly figure had glided by, moving silently, her eyes fixed on me. I froze, panic setting in. I turned to the door to leave, but it wouldn't budge. The whispers intensified, now almost mocking, as if they knew what I was thinking. Then, something even worse happened. I heard my own name softly called from the dark corner of the room. No one else was here. I was sure of it. Was it her? Or had I finally lost my mind? Then, as the whispers crescendoed into a deafening roar, I saw her again, standing right behind me. I froze, my heart pounding in my chest. Her face was unnaturally pale, her eyes hollow and empty, as if all life had drained from them. She reached out, her cold hand stretching toward me as though she wanted to touch me. My body wouldn't respond. I was paralyzed with fear, unable to move, to scream, to run. The air grew thick, suffocating, and the reality of it hit me all at once. This wasn't just a haunting, it was a warning that the hospital had never truly been abandoned. And now it wanted me to stay. I somehow made it out of the building, my heart racing as I thought I was free. But when I looked back, there she was again, standing in the window, staring directly at me with those hollow eyes. My breath caught in my throat. When I reached my car and checked my pockets, I found the same photo, the one I had discovered earlier. But now, there was something new. Written in shaky handwriting across the bottom were the words, "You can never leave." I don't know what's real anymore. All I know is that the hospital didn't just want me to visit. It wanted me to stay.